Hey Nakama, so we've had a really long break. A great break. Oda has been delivering incredible chapters for quite a while now. Incredible, incredible chapters. And he deserves a break, whether he wants to get some new laser beam eyes fitted or if he just needs to take a really long nap. He deserves it. He should have his breaks. But it's been long and I miss y'all and I miss this. So I really wanted to come back just this one time. Usually I do batch reviews on break weeks. This one time I wanted to come back and chat with you about this one chapter. But this weekend happens to be my daughter's birthday and there's no way I'm gonna be able to film this weekend and get a video up on Monday that I would film over the weekend. So here we are, we're doing it early. I read the scans. There will still be a batch review going up for the next 2 chapters whenever we're on break again, and then I'll get back to my normal routine. But I miss it, and I wanted to talk. And also, this is the first 10 out of 10 chapter I've given in a bit. So in my live streams, we at the end of a chapter, we all rate the chapter, and I give away 8s and 9s pretty easily, but I don't give away 10-star chapters very often. And this was a 10 and I want to talk to you about it, so let's do it. We open up with battleship bags. This is insane. Obviously Garp the Fist has a good punch, but the fact that it's without hockey, the fact that Kuzan is also doing this, I mean, look at these ships. Look at the damage done here. How are all the bones in your hand not broken? Or are they all broken and you've just learned to fight through the pain and that's why you can handle what happens to you later in this chapter? But I just love this. I love the ridiculousness of it. I love the absolute impossibility of it. And I love that it's Garp. I also love this line. Just goes to show that no one is born a hero. It's a strength you have to earn. I really feel like throughout this series so far, Garp's legend has carried him a lot. And in this time that he's gone to save Kobe, we've kind of seen him in action more so than previously. Sure, we've seen him throw cannonballs at his grandson and we've seen a couple of moments, but these last few chapters with Garp here trying to rescue Kobe, we've actually seen the legend in action and I love it. I'm not talking about glimpses of the legend that we've seen, like with him and Rox or Roger or whatever. I'm talking about in the moment we're actually seeing him. And it's awesome. Speaking of, look at him here with the flamethrower thing. Okay, let's talk about the flamethrower thing. Heavy drinker hearth fire. Okay, he has the glug glug fruit, so he can turn anything into alcohol, as I understand it. Yet here he is producing flames, and it looks like he's snapped his fingers to produce the flames and then blown the alcohol through it, which is why it's a fireball or a hearth fire. But what? Is he holding a match and the detail was just too minute? It was just too small for me to really pick up on, because it does look like there's a tiny little flame there that he's blowing through, so maybe he's holding a match and I just can't see it. But I am confused about how he produced the fire, how he produced the alcohol. I'm here for. How did he produce the fire? I don't understand. So if you get that, if you have some theories, please do let me know. But look at Garp grabbing these men and with this callous, stone cold look on his face, just holding them up as human meat shields. Turning them into flamethrowers and or fireballs and just chucking them into the crowd. Garp is so cool. I mean, that's some kind of torture for these people, but I don't feel for them too bad because, you know, they were just practicing in human slavery like 2 seconds ago. So, you know, I don't feel that much regret for them at the moment. But look at Garp with his just that completely serious face as he faces a flamethrower coming at him, uses them as a shield, chucks them into the crowd, and then whenever they're like, how is he not fazed by us? Then he smiles. What a terrifying geezer indeed. So Garp tells his people, we're done here. It's time to go. There's no way we're taking out all these pirates. We've gotten Kobe. We've gotten the slaves. We've freed the people. Let's get out of here. And then Kuzan shows up. we've got some things to discuss about Kuzan, but give me a minute. Because first I want to talk about Garp's crew, or Garp's, the Marines. So this guy here, first of all, the guy who says, I should have gone with the others, we're doomed. Some tenacity to be standing with your men and say, man, I should have abandoned you all to die. Like, that's so rude. But then we have the one that can produce golems, the one that has the clay fruit. He says, hey Garp-san, am I also the future of the Marines? Now, I love this because if you'll remember, I pulled it back up. It was the second chapter after these guys were all introduced, the next chapter, when we see them all lined up after they first enter Blackbeard's Island, I don't remember what it's called. He says, I can't believe he called Kobe the future of the Navy. That sucks. I'm gonna sabotage him. Do you remember that? So here he comes onto this scene saying, I can't believe he just said that. I can't believe he's the favorite child. And then he gets up to Dad. I know Garps isn't his dad, but this is how I'm playing it in my head. He gets up to Dad and he goes, hey man, you didn't mean it, right? Like, Kobe's not your, I'm the future of the Marines too. You love us all equally, don't you, Dad? And Garp just ignores him. He's just like, so you still want to go, Kuzan? Like, he's not even listening to his poor, ignored son that just wants validation. He's like, nah, I can't deal with this jealousy at this moment in time. Maybe give me a minute and I'll validate you later. So Garp tells them all to run, and he says that you guys head to the coast, you'll be fine. And he's gonna stay and face off against Kuzan. However, Kobe sees that there is a woman who has been left behind, someone who's maybe, they didn't free all the slaves. Oh no, Kobe, such a good guy. Now let me tell you, you should have seen my friend Jay's reaction to this. I put on his reaction while I was getting ready to film this video, just, you know, gotta show him some support. And his reaction to this scene, I'll link it. I'll link it in the description of this video. You gotta check it out. He just hit 50K. We can get him to 60 by the end of today. But he was so mad, and he brought up a really good point. Kobe, where's your observation hockey now? You can hear people's voices, you can hear people's thoughts, you can tell people's intentions. You're amazing observation hockey, and you couldn't tell in this one. Obviously, the stakes are high, the adrenaline's going, there's a lot going on right now. People make mistakes, but just show him some love. It was really funny. Anyway, it was a trap. And Garp gets stabbed. You idiot! It's a trap! Oh no! I love this panel. As I understand it, Oda drew this chapter, and I think the next one, before he actually went on break. So these are old non-laser beam eyes that drew this scene, but I love it so much. It's so impactful. I love the very subtle hints that something is happening when in the earlier panels, when we close in on Garp's face and then we see kind of the dust as he moves quickly. He dove in front of Kobe, and I love how we can see what's his face as he's still partially invisible. And Garp's posture here, I can't get over his hand. I know this is a weird thing to fixate on. I can't get over his hand on the guy's shoulder being pushed back by the impact of the sword, but still one hand on the sword itself and one hand on his shoulder. Somehow he saw through the clear fruit. I don't know if it was because of his observation hockey, or I assume it was observation hockey that allowed him to see through the clear fruit, but he saw through it enough that he didn't just dive in front of Kobe, he actually grabbed a hold of the sword and his shoulder to push him back, to keep him away from Kobe. And it just, man, this panel really affects me. I've had time to sit on it and it's still just, I feel like I'm getting hit by this panel. Golly. So Garp punches into the ground. Admittedly, I kind of fixated on the bones in his hand not crumbling when he's punching the boats, the battleships. But I mean, he's also destroying large sections of the earth. So maybe his maybe his knuckles are perpetually broken. Like he just maybe that's why he's called the Iron Fist, because he's had all of his bones in his hands surgically removed and replaced with iron. That's now my headcanon. That's what's going on with Garp. That's how he's surviving all of this. It's not One Piece physics, it's it's surgery that he's had done. Anyway, more awesomeness from Garp because he just is incredible in this entire chapter. When Kobe is losing his mind, Luffy and Marineford kind of losing his mind. But it's my fault. You were protecting me. And Garp's response, and you can see that he's, oh man, he's feeling what's happened here. Don't flatter yourself, Kobe. I was in his sights the whole time. Now, is that true? Maybe. This might have all been a ploy. He might have seen Kobe there and known that Garp would do this, and he knew it. Regardless of if that's true or not, which I think that there has to be some truth to that, but regardless of if it's true or not, Garp is just trying to keep Kobe from crumbling here. Telling him, nah, it was always about me. You have nothing to do with this kid. Like, oh, Garp. It's like, it's incredible to see him going from Marineford, where he watched all that happen to Ace and he didn't step in because he didn't know what to do. He was kind of put between a rock and a hard place. And then here he is. And granted, Kobe's not a pirate. He's not defying direct orders by protecting his subordinate. So it is a different situation. But I also just feel like there's a part of Garp that kind of has learned that standing by when your family is in danger is not going to be what he's going to be about ever again. So it's cool to see him in protector mode, and oh, I love it. I just love it. Yeah, so when everybody started rushing him after he's been stabbed and after all of this, and you can see that he's really ragged at this point, and everybody starts charging, Garp's vulnerable, we might be able to take him now, killing him is an instant ticket to wealth. So you've got this massive crowd of people all coming in, ready to basically ambush him. Man, I was worried for him. But Kuzan wasn't. He knew that Garp could take them, and he's like, you're gonna die, let me come in here with Ice Glove. Then we get our flashback. So I really love this flashback because not only do we see where they started with Garp telling him, get lost, I'm not interested in investing my time in you, I'm interested in investing my time in me, I want the freedom to do what I want. He tells him that. We go from that to them being so bonded that now Kuzan is telling Garp at the end of the flashback, telling him, I'm an admiral now, I don't have time to mess with you. And Garp's like, I'll make the tea. Like, that bond is, Garp went from go away, I don't need an apprentice, to quiet boy, we're bonding, which I love. I also really love, this is something that one of my patrons pointed out to me, I didn't see it initially, when they're training together and it goes from bam, pow, bam, thud, bam, bam. So we can actually, over just these 3 panels, we see Kuzan's progress going from this tiny little thing to being able to match what Garp is doing. Oh, I love it. Oh gosh. Oh man, this chapter is so good. I just turned the page and it's just so good. So we also have the element of Garp entrusting his pain and fear to his apprentice. My son became a revolutionary, and now my grandson says he's going to be a pirate. I won't stand for it. So you can see his kind of being tortured over his boys taking a different path than what he's taken and doing what he deems as unacceptable, and how much it really hurts him, and he wants the best future for his descendants, and he doesn't see the paths they're taking as that. So this is my question for you. Kuzan, good or bad? I know we've talked about this a lot, but I feel like in this scene makes me feel more assured than ever that Kuzan is not bad. Is he good? I don't know. I kind of feel, I personally think that he is against the world government and wants to see it taken down. and he sees Blackbeard as means to an end. Obviously, we had that other panel where Kuzan was telling Blackbeard, hey, we don't have to be Nakama here. We just have to both be after something and see each other as a useful alliance for the moment. So we know Kuzan isn't a dedicated, loyal fanboy to Blackbeard, but I think that it's not as simple as, okay, I've turned on the Navy, let's go join up with a pirate. I think that there's obviously an agenda here. There's obviously something going on with Kuzan where he is trying to accomplish something and he's using Blackbeard for that purpose. And I think he wants to take down the world government, and his objective is a good one. And he's just playing sides at the moment. But I also think that he has a lot of loyalty to Garp still. This flashback, especially, if I saw them going from apprentice to friends and that was it, I probably wouldn't think much of it. But the fact that Garp was entrusting his pain and his fears to Kuzan, and the fact that we've seen Kuzan kind of protect what someone cares about in the past with Robin, looking out for her, seeing what she does with her life and what he learned from Saul and from the incident in Ohara, I feel like he is still holding on to what Garp entrusted in him. And I think we're gonna see him looking out for Luffy. I don't know, it's a lot of speculation. It's just kind of a gut feeling, so you can disagree with me, but I would like to hear your thoughts. What do you think about Kuzan? Where do you stand with him right now? Is he a bad guy that's completely turned on the Navy and he's just doing his own thing? Is he a Blackbeard fanboy, or is he maybe, do you still think that, or do you think that he's playing spy and he has noble intentions at the end? Anyway, they fought. They hit each other. Amazing clash! Kuzan right in the temple, Garp uppercut in the jaw. Oh, that hurts. I mean, it didn't hurt me. It hurts to think about. Conquerors flash. Oh my goodness, I love this chapter. They both get thrown back. And then we have the Chatty Cathy Island Fruit coming in with his arms and his legs, and he's ready to fight, and he wants to have quite the headline. Tomorrow's headlines are gonna read, fail to rescue the hero, Captain Kobe. Avalo Pizarro, that's him, that's Chatty Cathy, fourth captain of the Blackbeard Pirates, used his awesome new power to crush their foolish plan. It's a good headline, boy. I'm sure that's gonna work out. You watch that be a real long headline just for you. Kobe starts freaking out, and then I love this final line from Garp. Don't lose your head. Justice will prevail. Ah! Garp's so cool in this chapter! Is Garp gonna die? This is the other question I have for you. Is Garp going to die? Is this the end for him? I say nay. Two reasons. One is a headcanon reason and one is a logic reason. So let me tell you the headcanon first because it's baseless. So for a long time here, I've been really attached to the idea that Garp has come around. Now, obviously, we just saw that flashback of him being tormented over the idea of his son becoming a Revolutionary Army, becoming a part of the Revolutionary Army, and his grandson becoming a pirate. He hates it. But I like the idea that over the years, Garp has realized that the system that he serves under is failing greatly. Failing the people greatly, and it's not doing its job, and it does need to be torn apart. And he is now working for the world government, but secretly against the world government. And in that, he's come around to the realization that what his son and his grandson are about is actually good. They're just going at it from different directions than the path that he's chosen. I like the idea that Garp accepts that the paths that his descendants have chosen is good because their goals are noble. So I've kind of had this image in my head for a long time that in the final battle, we'll have grandson, son, and granddad, Garp, Dragon, and Luffy all standing back to back, fighting together, representing three paths chosen, coming together to fight together for the people. It resonates with me. Will Oda do it? That's his choice, and whatever he chooses is great. But That's an image that I really hold to, and if Garp dies here today, I can't have that, so I don't want him to die here today. But the other reason why I think that I don't think that he's going to die here today is because his death doesn't feel meaningful enough in this moment. Now, I do think that this could have been a great place for Garp to die, in this battle on this island that's very significant against people that are very powerful and significant. We're really close to the end game of the series. This does feel like an appropriate time for Garp to die. And it would have worked if Garp told his crew, get out of here, I'll handle Kuzan. And then he went knuckle to knuckle with Kuzan and got taken out, and the crew made it out safe. But that's not what happened. The crew stayed. He said get out, and they stayed. So if Garp went out in a great sacrifice that saved the next generation, the future of the Marines, if Garp went out protecting the future of the Marines, then yes, I'd say that this feels like a death. But because he didn't, because Garp dying here today would actually do nothing, and the future of the Marines, the next generation, are still trapped on this island, and all that would happen is Kuzan and the Blackbeard pirates would just turn on them and capture them. That doesn't feel like a good death scene for Garp, because it's not a meaningful sacrifice. It's a death that, at the end of the day, didn't actually save anyone or help anything. And I do think that a meaningless death can narratively be really great. I think that it can be a really strong storytelling device, but it's not Oda's style. It's not what he does. So I don't think Garp is dead here today. And then we also have to acknowledge the fact that the original plan was to capture Kobe and use him as a bargaining chip, and Garp would certainly be a better bargaining chip. So I imagine they just kind of want to weaken him to the point that they can capture him and then use him as a bargaining chip. Will that work? I say no. I think probably someone else is coming in. Could be Moria and Perona. It could be Dragon. It could be... Who else did we discuss in the live stream? We were discussing a couple of options. I can't remember who else we talked about. Someone else will probably come in and help us get free. Or I guess maybe Garp will be captured and then put on an execution block so that Luffy can come in and save his granddad next. I'm just kidding. I don't think that's gonna happen. But anyway, I don't think Garp dies today. But I am curious to hear what you think. This chapter was phenomenal. I loved it so much. I don't remember if I've already said this in this video, but I've not always been the biggest Garp stan. For me, I think that we've relied a lot on the legend and potential of Garp, which is certainly there, but I've never... I don't know, I've just never, he's had some good scenes, but he's never done it for me. And this chapter, I built my own Garp fan club, and it will surpass yours. I loved Garp in this chapter. Absolutely incredible. I love seeing him in action. I mean, he was amazing in the chapter where he came in on this island and disrupted everything and took command and was like, I'm gonna take him, thanks. Like, I loved that chapter for him, but this is the one where I build my own fan club. So don't kill him, Oda, please. Anyway, that's the chapter. Again, I will have another chapter review for the next 2 chapters, assuming we're getting 3 before the next break. This is not my new norm. I usually post my chapter reviews on Mondays, but I missed it. I missed it, and I wanted to hang out with you. If you like my Nakama shirt, I sell them. There's a link in the description as well as a banner. You can check it out, or mugs, or tumblers, or mouse pads, or whatever you like. I post videos every Monday and Friday on this channel, Tuesdays and Thursdays on my other channel, where I post week-to-week reviews and reading vlogs, keeping up with what I'm reading. I'm currently reading Dragon Ball and Monster over there, as well as a bunch of books. I'll see you again soon. Bye.